Hey everyone, welcome to an emergency episode of the 199 podcast. So, me and Jess were just subjected to, and Yo Pops as well, we just watched episode 1 of the live action Avatar The Last Airbender. And listen, it was absolutely horrendous and horrific. We're going to go through beginning to end and break it down because it was just awful. We are not watching any more episodes, by the way. We're just
No,
reviewing episode 1 and we're done. This was
no.
way too fucking painful. Okay, we were on a Discord call while we watched it. Yo Pops, me, Jess, Brian, Alec Baldwin's finger, and Hoodie D, and the whole thing was just me and Jess fucking complaining because it was goddamn horrendous and
I
awful.
told you I was
Okay,
gonna complain, and I
it
did.
was horrendous, and we're gonna go through the whole thing. So, I've got some pictures to present because I don't have a Netflix, so I can't like show that. But well, first off, it opened up with a scene that wasn't even in the animation. So it opened up with this Earthbender guy. And by the way, everyone is way darker than they were in the
He was
animation.
nameless. I don't. They didn't even give him a
Nameless,
name,
some
right?
Earthbender guy running through. Well, first of all, it opens up and it says Capital City in big letters. Fire
Yeah.
Nation Capital City. It's
No, it
like,
just said
what the
Capital
hell?
City. It just said
Oh,
Capital
Capital
City.
City.
There was no like Fire Nation, which is
We
what it
don't
should have
need that. It's
been.
obvious. But
Yeah.
so we see this Earthbender running through the street being chased by firebenders, and he has this scroll thing that he gives to another Earthbender, and he says like they're going to start a war, get this to the Earth, and he runs off. So and then the Earthbender is captured and taken before Firelord Sozin, who shouldn't
But we're
even be
not supposed
talking
to
to
see
this
until
guy.
much later.
Yeah, and there's no chance
Okay.
Sozin would lower himself by interrogating this lowly Earthbender character that was made up for the
No.
scene. But
No.
Sozin just says some generic lines to him and then just burns him to a crisp. And
Okay.
that scene's over. And that was just a pointless, I guess, intro scene that was not from the animation at all.
No,
Cat
it
guess.
wasn't.
Uh,
Hi.
then let me present this fucking horrific thing. So next we move over. We go over to Aang at the Air Temple. Okay, and first thing we see of Aang is he's standing on top of this high like ledge, this spire, and he just jumps off and
He's
flies without
flying.
his
He
glider.
flies.
He can just
There's no
fly.
staff. He just flies. He's like, "Oh, look at me. I'm flying."
So throughout, for anyone who hasn't seen the animation, throughout it he has his glider and he flies. That's what allows him to fly because airbenders like they can control air, and with their glider he can manipulate the air through it to glide. But no, he can just fly, which retroactively changes everything about the series if the main character can just fly at will. I mean,
They could never fly at will. They never could. They had to use their gliders the whole
and
time.
it's not just Aang, by the way. Later on, we're going to see that all the firebenders can fly too. So instead of getting the cool reveal thing in season 3, that, oh yeah, Zula, she's so fucking powerful and determined that she can actually fly with her
The
firebending.
jetpack thing. The
Not everyone
jetpack.
can do it. Everyone can fly. So that has huge implications on fucking everything.
Ah,
But yeah, so Aang flies down, and we get the scene that we would have had from flashbacks later on in season 1 of Aang with the Gyatso and finding out that he's the Avatar and the responsibilities that come with that. And by the way, everything in this show that just cuts so fast. Like we only have scenes for like 5 seconds that it cuts, cuts, cuts. So we skip massive things, and everything's just messed up because the editing's horrendous.
well, yeah. It was like, oh, they were at the Southern Water Tribe. Then all of a sudden, they were just at the Southern Air Temple, and it's like
Yeah,
there were
it's
a few
awful.
episodes that were supposed to lead up to that moment of them going there, and but they just teleported there.
And yeah, we're good at that. But after this, so this is probably the only scene that's at least doable or passable outside of the whole flying thing, which is horrendous. But it's pretty one to one, the dialogue and conversations between Aang,
Very wooden.
Gyatso, and the council people. It's very wooden. The acting is awful, but this is probably the best acting in the episode because it's at least decent here. It's horrendous throughout the rest.
Ye-
Uh, but the last
Horrendous
scene's
is
at
kind
least
of being nice, I think.
yeah, we're gonna get to some shit later, but so
Oh.
Aang, after finding out that he's the Avatar and he has the responsibility, which is this is done in like 2 minutes versus the whole build up of it being shown throughout whenever it's shown in the animation. We first see in the animation him like playing with his friends and him being happy about being a part of them, and then he learns that he's the Avatar and everyone learns that he is, and from then on he's treated differently, and he can't play like the air games with them anymore because it wouldn't be fair for whichever team like has him on. We don't get any of that shit in this. So Aang just learns his avatar. He gets upset. He flies off, and then we cut to firebenders immediately attacking the temple, and they just fly straight up into it onto this mountain because they can fly now. Everyone can fucking fly. And we get this whole fight of the air nomads versus the fire nation, which looks decent. But like the whole thing is the air nomads are pacifists, and we're getting this whole battle scene, which just kind of clashes with who they are in the animation. At least I guess they're not pacifists in this. And that's cut in and out with Aang flying on Appa in the storm, and then the storm happens and he goes under the wave, and then we cut to Sokka and Katara. I've got a thingy for that in their canoe. And this is damn like guys, let me show here we go. This is what Sokka and Katara look like, okay? I despise the casting. Sokka's isn't as bad as Katara's, but they're both awful. They've got no charisma, they've got no personality. They've completely removed Sokka's sexism, which is like 50% of his character and his whole character arc
You
of who he
you
evolves to
wouldn't
be.
even know they were siblings.
You wouldn't even know they're siblings. This is like the intro to a stepbrother stepsister porn. Okay, it's very wooden. It's very flat. There's no emotion between them. In the animated show, we open with them, episode one, on the boat and on this canoe sailing to catch fish, and they have this conversation and they're arguing,
Yeah, they
and their
argue, and then
argument
Katara is doing her thing, and then that's what makes the iceberg come up.
that's what makes it come
And then
up, and
they're
that's
going,
what
"Oh my
makes
god, what's
Aang come.
this?" But they
But
just were
there's
like
no argument in this. They just randomly stumble
talking.
upon Aang who bursts up in his frozen things. There's no argument. And by the way, we see here, Katara is fully able to manipulate and push the canoe with waterbending. So in episode one, she's already as powerful as she is in season two of the animated show. So, oh, they fuck up all the power levels in this. We're gonna get to that, but
Oh.
thus far it's just horrendous. By this point, we're just critiquing everything. We're just talking over everything because it's just shit. Okay, we're just dying in the
And
Discord
they
call.
left out Momo.
We're gonna get to that, but oh, here we go. We got another little thingy. Next, they bring Aang back to the village, okay, and they fuck this up pretty bad
Which he
too.
was supposed to be awake by then, because the first person he sees when he wakes up is Katara, and they were actually still, by the iceberg where he came out of, right?
Yeah, so
And
we cut to Aang laying in this little hutch thing, and
oh,
all
don't
everyone's
you?
gathered around him, and then in this very much so like theater level basic kindergarten performance, Grand says he needs to rest. We should let him rest, and then everyone walks out, and that's the scene. And it's like, what the hell? We get 5 second scenes, and we're just cutting between things. The editing is horrendous. And by
Oh,
the way,
is
in
it?
that
Oh.
scene, Aang is fully clothed. Then we cut to another scene of Aang laying naked in the bed. So I don't know what happened between cuts. I don't
Well,
know if
he's
Katara came in
at
and
least
raped him or what.
shirtless. We don't know if he's completely nude.
Wait, no, he had a shirt on, and
Well,
we have the
yeah.
scene, and Grand's like, "Let him asleep, let's go." And then we cut to him laying in the exact same bed alone, without a shirt on. So, and he wakes up. So who knows what happened there? But then we cut to him walking out of the thing, and he has a shirt on. So there's no fucking consistency whatsoever.
Oh,
And
man.
then we see this dude. So the whole thing in the animation is that all the warriors left. Sokka's father took them, and they all left to go fight the Fire Nation.
It's
And Sokka's
basically
the only one
Sokka and a
left.
bunch of the
It's
little
Sokka and
kids.
some infants. But then who the fuck is this
Well,
dude? This
not
dude is
infants,
clearly
kids.
16. Some kids. But I guess not in this, because we got this dude, whoever he is. And so we missed out on all the funny stuff with Sokka in the animation, like lined up talking to the kids, trying to give them like a military speech, and then one's like, "I gotta pee." We skip all of that. We're skipping everything, okay? We're skipping all the character stuffs.
Well,
Um,
his leadership didn't really inspire a lot of confidence as far as what he was, you
which it
know.
doesn't in the animation either, but in this, it's just like, what are we even fucking doing? Okay, so then we cut because with guys, I can't stress enough. This is some of the worst editing I've seen in a long time. And by the way, going back to something earlier where Aang can just fly, even the M. Night Shyamalan movie got it right where they gave Aang a glider and he uses the glider to glide, which this thing doesn't. And by the way, a quarter of the cuts, the shots here, we see Aang, he's holding his glider, and then the rest of them, he's just not. So we're cutting every 5 seconds. Sometimes Aang's shirt on, sometimes it's off. Sometimes he has his glider, sometimes he doesn't. There's no consistency whatsoever. So then Aang and Katara have this like short, stilted terribly acted conversation. Oh no, we're back in the hutch then. Everyone goes back in the hut. So we're back in the hut now. And Gran gives the opening speech that Qatar does in the cutscene and
all
all
the
the
openings of
openings.
the episodes.
It's very stilted. It's very exposition-y. It fucking sucks. So that basically catches Aang up on it's been 100 years, and all the airbenders are dead, which he shows no reaction whatsoever. Which in the animation, he's like, "What? No, of course not."
He was,
Go
I
ahead.
think, literally, he was supposed to find out when he went to the Southern Air Temple that it had been that
But
long.
now they just have Gran tell him, which how does she even know? Who knows? But he's just like
Well,
no
she
reaction
did know
whatsoever.
a lot,
He's
but
Brie
like
Larson.
she wasn't like a big. I mean, she wasn't like a huge part in even the original show. I
hmm
mean, yeah, she would like talk, but like she really wasn't in it a lot. It mainly just focused on the kids.
And if I can stress enough, the casting is horrific because guess who we cut to next, folks? My one of my favorite characters in the animation, uh, has one of the best character arcs in anything whatsoever. This dude. So in this, Zuko's
My
scar
Zuko.
is just a black eye. So instead of the full side of his face, the scar, he's just got a black eye. His voice is decently unoffensive, but his acting is horrific, and he's not look like Zuko. He's several shades darker than he should be, and his face is way too thick. Like he does not look
Oh my
like
god.
Zuko one bit. Let me find some more pictures. Like this. This is not Zuko, okay? It's not Zuko whatsoever.
Pull up how he's supposed to look in the animated show.
Yeah, here we go. Let
To
me show
see
you
the
what Zuko
difference
looks like.
and see his how Scar is actually supposed to look, because that scar is like
This is Zuko, okay? You see the scars. It's even on his ear. It's not even touching his ear in the live action.
basically his ear's like gone,
Compare this to this.
and he
It's
has his
not even
ear.
touching his ear. His ear is fine. This is a black eye. And compare the shade of skin. Look at how dark he is in that to this, okay? Um, compare that to his shade of skin in I looked up anime, which I shouldn't have. But the point is, he is a lot darker in this than he should be. He is pale, folks, in the animation. Um, but yeah, there's
I
some
mean,
race
he's
bending
not
going
like
on there.
pale, but
But
he's definitely,
he's like
yeah.
we could almost equate him to like half Japanese, half white. Okay, in this he almost looks pretty much half Indian, half Japanese.
Yeah. Or well, yeah, it's just really poor casting. It just really is.
Yeah, all
I
the
mean,
casting is pretty bad except like Aang.
yeah, Aang's not
But
bad,
Aang's not bad. Yeah, everything else is pretty bad.
but everything else is
Um,
so.
but listen, so then we suddenly just cut to Katara and Aang. We see this trail of footprints leading up to this abandoned Fire Nation ship.
The Fire Nation ship, which actually, oh, who brought it up? Somebody brought it. I think maybe Qatar brought it up, and then Aang was like, "Oh, let's go check it out" in the animated show.
We skip
And
all of that. We
yeah,
skip
that was
all his
like all of a
interactions.
sudden they were at the village, and then next scene they're at the ship, and it's like, what? They didn't even like explain how they like why they wanted to go there, and it's like, ugh.
And then what the scene in the ship is just Katara being like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I can waterbend," and she just fucking waterbends like with this puddle. She makes this big thing happen. That is
Well,
basically her straight power level in season 2. So it's just like, no,
she
we're
had to
not
get
getting any
that.
character arcs. Hmm?
She had to get that pep talk from Aang first, and all of a sudden she could, fucking
It was a poorly acted
just
pep talk.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
you and me have been talking a lot. What do you think, Yo Pops? What do you think as somebody who has not seen any of the animated show? Like, what do you think about
Um,
how?
I mean, I definitely agree that the actors, like their acting was definitely there's a lot to be desired. It was very like almost monotone. Like it was just like they're just kind of reading off a script. There was like no emotion
Yeah,
behind any of the dialogue when they were interacting with each other. And
yeah.
I'll point this out. The like flying scenes when Aang would like fly, start levitating, like it looked so cheesy. You know what I mean? Like it just they could have made it a little bit more dynamic. Maybe they could
Yeah.
have, add a little bit more action to it, but it
They
just
could have
seemed
cut
like,
it out entirely, because why the fuck can Aang fly?
yeah.
That
But I mean,
retroactively changes fucking everything.
aside
I
from that
mean,
point, but like, since they had it in there, like the least they could have done is, like
Make it
made
look
it a little
good.
bit more, yeah, make it look good. It was almost like they were on like wires and stuff, and they're
yeah,
like
yeah.
slowly like levitating, and it looked kind of cheesy. But I'll say this much though, as someone who hasn't watched any of the shows, any of the movies, as far
Oh,
as like the storyline went, I was getting interested into the storyline, but it was just the acting that kind of turned me off a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
So we're in this ship, and this next bit is bizarre, by the way. The editing has been awful, but this is one of the worst bits. So they're in the ship, Katara and Aang, just after Katara waterbends somehow. I don't know how she does it, but in the animation, in the
Magically.
ship, they set off like this booby trap that sends like this firework or
That's
something up,
right. It was the
which
booby
is
trap.
what
That's
Zuko
right.
sees and what leads him. But no,
Yes.
so after Katara does her waterbending, we just cut to Aang and Katara back in the village, watching as the Fire Nation ship arrives, and then we just cut to Zuko and his Fire Nation guys talking to them. And so we skip basically an entire episode here. And we skip the scene where Zuko walks down the plank and Sokka rushes up with his boomerang thing to attack him, and he just like backspin kick. I mean, he basically does like
He's gonna demonstrate.
he. So in the animation,
Don't hurt
Oh my
yourself.
god.
he does like
You gotta do
a
it.
backspin kick and just kicks Sokka right off the ship. And that explains and demonstrates power levels. That shows us that Sokka is
Oh my
nothing compared to
god.
Zuko, which is very
Nice.
important. But no, we get none of that.
Oh
We
my
just
god.
cut from Aang and Katara in this old abandoned ship to them having this stilted, poorly acted conversation with Zuko, as Zuko's saying, "Is the Avatar here? I'm here to collect the Avatar."
I am here
And
to
it's just
get
like, what
the
the fuck? We just
avatar. Do
skipped
you know
all the
where he
important character
is?
stuff.
Oh my god.
And
It's almost like
then
they're just.
sorry. And
I
then for
just.
some reason, we have Sokka attack Zuko, and we get this fight between Sokka and Zuko. That's an actual fucking fight, which messes everything up because the whole point of the thing with the bridge, it's comedic when he's walking down and then he just kicks Sokka away. It's comedic, but also shows power levels. This just confuses us because it's like, oh, Sokka doesn't have bending, but I guess he can just go toe to toe with Zuko for like a minute. So
Yeah, and then, I think when was it? I think in like season 2, he'd be like, "Oh, you guys can all do this bending and I can't, and what am I in this group?"
but again, the whole
And he
point,
had to
even
overcome that too,
someone who's not very smart
not
could
being a
say, "Oh, it's
bender.
just episode 1, it'll get better." But the whole point is, in episode 1, we've retroactively destroyed almost everything that's gonna come. Everything that happens now is gonna be fucking stupid as long as it's consistent with episode 1, because Aang can fly, power levels are messed up, we've skipped half the character interactions. What are we doing?
Well, let me ask you guys this, since you guys are obviously fans of the show or of the series and all that. Would you
Yeah.
say it's a fair statement to make that it's almost like I get what the producers or the writers, whoever, they're trying to just kind of power through and just
Exactly.
add, just try to condense everything into that one episode. So that's why they're doing all these cut scenes. They're just cut, and then it's not consistent with the original story because they're just trying to just add everything into that one episode. I mean, would that be a fair statement?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and the
think
whole thing
so.
is,
Yeah.
this episode, 60 minutes. So that's 3 episodes because the animations are 20 minutes. So
Mhm.
after 3 episodes of season 1, we know who Aang is, we know who Zuko is, we know who Sokka and Katara are. 4 of them, we have their characters and Iroh. So we've got 5 characters. They've had character interactions. They've all interacted with each other. We've got the power levels down. We've had several emotional moments. So that after 3 episodes of that,
My
an hour in
cluster
total, we're
emotional.
fully into the story and we're invested and we're hooked into what's happening. After this, it's like, what have we accomplished besides cutting out pretty much everything?
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When the Fire Tribe or the Fire Tribe
The
Fire
is that
Fire
Nation.
right?
Nation. The Fire
Yeah, the
Nation.
Fire Nation. The Fire Nation when they came to the was the Water Nation, I guess it was
The Water
Water Tribe.
Tribe.
the
Well,
Water
For
the
some
Tribe.
reason,
Southern,
Okay,
what do they
the
call it, Jess?
Southern Water
or
Tribe.
it was
But
the
what does it
wolf.
say
Was
in
like
this show?
the
The
wolf?
wolf?
What?
They
Wolf
didn't
Oh,
tribe or
have
wolf?
a
something?
name.
It says like
Yeah,
wolf tribe or
No.
something. What the hell's
yeah.
that from?
But
They
I will
made it
say
up.
this though. I will say this though. When they came to the front of the gate, and then Aang's like, "Hey, just I'm the one you're looking for. Take, just go ahead and capture me or whatever." I did get a little emotional. I was starting to get a little emotional. He's kind of sacrificing
Really?
himself for that. Yeah, yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. And then when who was the guy of the Water Nation or the Water Tribe that
Sokka.
Sokka?
yeah, when he came and he saved Aang from the
Yeah.
ship or whatever, I that kind of I kind of like that because I'm kind of a little bit of a sucker for like when like two people are rivals, but then they decide to kind of like work together and like I'm kind of a bit of a sucker for that. So that part did kind of get me a little emotional.
Then the live action is gonna blow your mind because we actually have
Yeah.
character interactions and show the Aang and
Mm.
Sokka are rivals that then come together. But I mean, we got
Well, they
nothing
were
in this.
never. They were
They were never
actually not
rivals, but they
really
had like
Well, not
rivals.
rivals, but
flashes
like
of this now and
it
then.
was more.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. He was more
Yeah.
flashes
like,
of
hey,
his
who are
powers.
you little kid, and then he
Yeah.
kind of proved himself, I guess, and like I
Yeah.
kind of like that. I did like that.
Yeah.
But then,
I get that.
so
Yeah.
after this, after Aang agrees to go with them, we just cut to Aang inside the Fire Nation, this prison cell, and what's his name? Iroh's there, just talking about fucking tea, which is like he does that in the animation, but he never talks to Aang about tea. And then we see there's like two Fire Nation guards there, and as Iroh leaves, Aang just airbends the key from one of them straight into the lock and unlocks it. And between
It was
cuts of
more
us
like
showing
magnet bending, like it just
yeah, it was like he was Magneto.
floated right
Between us
to
showing cuts
yeah.
that clearly there are two Fire Nation soldiers right there. And after that, we just cut to Aang inside of Zuko's cabin. So we're just cutting entire scenes out, basically. In the animated show, we see him stealthily moving through the ship and stuff.
Yeah, and he had
We're
no
just
idea
cutting
where he
everything
was
out.
going, and he was trying to be quiet and like, oh, who's is somebody gonna pop out, and grab me? But like, no, all of a sudden he just magically
And
went
in
into the
Zuko's cabin, he
yeah.
retrieves his glider, which again, he barely even has in most scenes. Every other scene, he doesn't have his glider, then suddenly he does. He didn't even have it in the previous scene where he was captured from the water tribe. So who fucking knows? Consistency is awful. The editing is as bad as the acting. The only
Or when
good
he was in
thing
the
is
ship,
the visuals.
when he was
Yeah.
escaping from the ship from the Fire Nation, like where did he get that? Where did he get his staff from? Did he like have it up
He
his
took
ass
it
and he
he
pulled
took
it
it
out,
from
or
Zuko's cabin. We see
It
him
was
take
it
it from
was
okay,
Zuko's
really
cabin.
quick. It was like leaning against the wall, like
But the
kind of by
thing
the
is,
door, I
he
think,
did
and he
not
okay,
just
have
grabbed
it when
it.
Zuko captured him. When
well, yeah,
Zuko captured
that's
him,
right,
he didn't
yeah,
have
that's
it on
right,
him.
Yeah, I
yeah,
was like, where is
yeah.
it?
Yeah, so inconsistencies are awful. Like I said, his shirt's on, his shirt's off. He's getting raped one moment, he's got stabbed the next.
Oh my
It
god.
doesn't even. Yeah, he was definitely fucking raped in that hut. Why else would his shirt be off in one scene, then on, then off, then on between cuts? It makes
Oh
no
my
sense.
god.
But yeah, I
No.
mean, Katara's been with Sokka. There's no one else besides Sokka her age there. Well, I guess there is in this show, which makes no sense.
Well,
But the point
Sokka's
is,
like a year or two
then
older
we
than
cut
her.
to the blandest acting ever, where Katara goes to Sokka. She's like, "We should go help him," and Sokka's like, "No way." Then we cut to them flying on Appa to help him, and it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I think I actually missed that part of the I don't think I
Yeah,
even
they're
saw
editing.
that
Every scene
part.
is like 2 seconds long. Then they're editing and skipping ahead 10 minutes in the show and just
Yeah.
cutting
Oh my
out entire segments and character arcs. And then we get to Aang, who's escaping from the ship, and suddenly everyone sees him, and there's like a confrontation where I guess they just didn't see him beforehand because we're just cutting everything out. And there's like this brief fight, and he attempts to fly away, and everyone shoots fireballs at him, and Zuko's hits him, and he's
Mm.
falling just like he did in the animation. And just like in
I
the
didn't
animation,
remember that
Appa and them
actually.
arrive, and he lands on
Oh
Appa.
no.
But then Zuko launches this big fireball at him,
Yeah.
and in the animation, what happens is Aang airbends it away, it
That's
hits an
right.
ice cliff,
Oh, I
which
remember.
falls on the ship, and that shows the power levels just like I
Yeah.
said earlier. So earlier they cut out showing the power levels between Sokka being nothing to Zuko. They cut that out.
But then
And
they
now in
changed
this,
it to
they
Katara
cut out.
suddenly
So in this,
being a
Katara water bends
waterbender.
some water blob a million miles up, which extinguishes the
Mm.
fireball. So not only have we completely made Katara as powerful as she is in season 3
She doesn't
and
need to go to
degraded
the
Aang,
Northern Water
but
Tribe
now there's
anymore.
no ice thing that falls on the ship. Because in the animation, that delays Zuko for like 3 episodes and explains why he's delayed is because this giant ice clip fell on the ship, and this whole episodes of him going to get the ship prepared. That's a whole plot line, which leads to pirates and this whole arc.
Oh,
but
the
now the ship's
pirates.
not
Oh
damaged.
wow.
So
Oh,
how
the
are they going to
pirates
go
were
repair the
cool.
ship?
I
And
remember
how do
that.
they even move forward? And they're not showing the power levels of how strong Aang is, and Katara is just a fucking Ray Palpatine. So what is the fucking point?
I don't
Wow.
know.
So they're
What
literally
are
just
they doing?
skipping.
And then they cut to them being in the Southern Air Temple, which you wouldn't know this, but they traveled 6,000 fucking miles to the other side of the world between cuts, because we're skipping at 5 fucking episodes
Yeah,
every fucking time we cut.
that's
Yeah,
crazy. That's crazy.
you miss so much stuff, you know,
You miss all the fucking characterization, and then
yeah,
we
the
fucking
character
cut to
development of them
Aang
getting to know
looking
each
at
other better.
Gyro's, whatever the fuck the Japanese guy's corpse. In the animation, we have this build of this whole episode of them
Gyatso.
arriving at the temple and Aang realize being happy, like, you guys are gonna be so happy. We're gonna meet. It's basically like in Lord of the Rings when they're in the mines and Gimli's like, you guys are gonna be so happy. We're gonna have a dwarvish feast, and they slowly realizes that everyone's fucking dead. But instead of
Mhm.
getting that, we just get suddenly we cut to him looking at the corpse, and then Aang just enters the Avatar state. So we've skipped an
Which
entire
does
fucking episode,
happen,
and
but
we
then
skip
Katara's
Momo.
gone.
We skip the introduction to Momo.
I know Momo.
Well, Jess, what you're saying about like character development, it almost seems like the writers or whatever they're just trying to just go off
Power
of
through.
like the action, the horrendous action, instead of actually
Yeah,
developing the characters.
yeah,
That's what it seems
yeah,
like.
yeah. That's what they're doing, and you know, and Katara was the one who was supposed to calm him down when he was up in the Avatar site, and she was telling him, I know how much you're hurting and how much it hurts to like lose the people that you really cared about and loved, but we're here, we're your family now. And then that made him slowly come down, and like, she gave him a hug, but like all of a sudden he was just having these visions of, Gyatso
Yeah,
anyway, but and
there's no
that
fucking
calmed him
emotion.
down,
There's
and it's
no
like,
fucking
no, it
acting.
was Katara who calmed him down,
I've showed
actually.
more emotion in this video than these fucking actors can, and they're getting paid
Well,
millions per
Oh,
well,
fucking
when they
hour.
went
yeah.
back to the temple, I didn't even know they were going back to the temple that was destroyed earlier. I thought they went to another nation that got like
Because you
the
wouldn't
Fire
know,
Nation
because
went
we
and
I know
just
you
destroyed. Like
wouldn't
I
know
didn't even
because
we
realize
just
that. I
cut
asked you
from them at
guys,
the
like
South Pole to them at this air temple. So
which took
that's
them,
like
as
if
you
you took
said,
Lord of the
a very
Rings.
long
Scene
time to
one of
go
Lord of
from
the Rings
there.
is them in the Shire, and then we just cut to them at Mount Doom.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what it would
yeah.
be like.
Like the whole journey of it's just they just cut it all out
Yeah,
pretty
they
much.
cut that out entirely. Which, as I said earlier, like when between those episodes until they got to the air temple, they were kind of becoming
Bond,
friends a
have
bit
character
more,
stuff and
and like
character interactions.
talking. Yeah.
So this whole
So they
fucking show
cut
is
that
fucked
out.
now. That sees we've haven't demonstrated the power levels. We've done the opposite. We've fucked it all up. We've made Katara way more powerful than she is. We've made
Yeah.
Sokka inconsistent power level to Zuko. I don't know how we even get to the whole arc and stuff. The plot lines that Zuko and the ship goes on, because now they're not going to go to get their ship repaired. We're cutting every cut skips 10 episodes and 10,000 miles. The editing's awful. The scenes are 5 seconds, then we just cut. Everything's inconsistent between scenes. Shirts are on then off, staffs are in hand then off. Characters inconsistent. We have no character dialogue. Everything is fucked up. Aang can fly now. Power levels, everything is messed up. There's no way for this show to move forward in any kind of positive manner. There's no way to say, oh, maybe episode 2 will be good. No, because they fucked it all up. They botched it all from episode 1. It's just
Well, hey, when Aang was escaping from the ship, he had a staff and he was, gliding out. And then when he got hit, it's like he was falling down. Why couldn't he fly then? If he could fly, without the staff beforehand, you know what I mean? Like that, like
fucking
that right
idiots. And
there.
look, it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Fucking hire me. Or fucking hire Jess. Take average fucking Joe off the street and hire
Make it feel
him.
better.
Well, hey,
What
just
the
what
fuck
you're
are
about
you?
to say
How are you?
something?
How are you this fucking stupid?
Well,
How?
I was just gonna say, after this first episode, I bet you anything, all of a sudden they're gonna be on Kyoshi Island.
And all the Kyoshi's gonna be trans, by the way. Fucking guarantee you. And they're gonna have soccer cross dressing. Wait till we get to May and Ty Lee and what's her
I
fucking name?
saw them.
It's gonna be
I
a
saw
lesbian
them,
threesome.
and they do not look anything like
Oh
they
god.
don't look like
No one
them.
looks how they should. It's fucking shit. It's
Well, a
absolute
lot of
fucking shit.
I hate to say it, but a lot of people are like, "Why are May and Ty Lee fat?" I was like, "Oh
Are
shit,
they fat?
I can't look at this little chubby."
Let me pull up. Do we actually have? Let me pull up.
Yeah, you could
May.
probably you could see a screenshot of him. I'm pretty sure because I saw it and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it's gonna
I
be a
can't
lesbian
remember who
threesome between
posted
Azula,
about
May, and
it.
Tyler. I fucking guarantee you. What?
Do you
Pull
see
it
him
up. Pull it up.
What
Pull
now?
it
the
up.
Do you
fuck?
see
Pull it
him,
up.
Let me share. Oh my
dude?
fucking god.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
fucking god. Where was it? Here, continue reading. Show me the fucking thing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There she is. There's
Oh, come
May.
on.
There's
Oh, they did her
May.
dirty.
What?
There she is.
Oh, come on. Jesus.
What?
There she is, guys.
Fuck this
They guess
show. Fuck these
they had
stupid
to get
ass
some
writers.
fat
Fuck
representation in
everyone
there, I guess.
involved.
And Tylee,
What
she's
the
supposed to be this
fuck?
acrobatic,
How's
really
she gonna be
peppy,
doing the
bubbly
acrobatics?
girl, and now she. Oh, and May is, the more
Fuck off.
like emo girl,
Fucking hell.
But
God damn.
still,
I mean, it's obvious that the people who wrote this weren't, fans or anything. I mean, it's pretty damn
no.
obvious.
Fucking
Well,
obviously.
well, the creators of the original animated series, they left because of creative differences. Well, now we know why.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's
This, I
what
mean,
happens.
What a
I mean,
fucking
this is
shame,
just
guys.
like, oh god, it's like the whole like Cowboy Bebop thing too, when they did the whole live action for that one
Oh,
too.
and
You know what I
then
mean?
they did Full Metal Alchemist, which Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of my favorite animes. They didn't. I mean, it's just not as good. It just really was
No.
not as good. I mean,
And
maybe
it's
visually
totally
it was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but
it's
I was watching it and going, oh, this isn't the same.
it's
It's just
obviously put
bad.
money into this. Like the scenes in like
Yeah.
the Arctic and the
Yeah.
landscapes and like the sets of like the temple and the Fire Nation capital. It
Mm,
looks good. But it's so fucking, this annoys me about everything. This annoys me about the Marvel shows, this annoys, the Loki shows, everything. You have the money, you have the talent, you have the opportunities. Why can't you hire good writers? Why?
Good actors.
I know it's fucking arrogant as hell,
I
but I
don't
don't give a
know.
shit. If you fucking hired me, it would be fucking good. People would watch it, and
Well,
it's so much
number
wasted
one,
opportunity.
you're
Fucking hell.
you're a fan of the show, so it helps when you actually know the source material, because if you
Yeah.
don't know anything about it, it's going to be crap because you don't care.
It's
Yeah.
obvious they
I,
don't
I hate
care.
how they do that. I really hate how they just get just random writers and they just think, oh, we'll just write a script and we'll just throw some money into it. We'll just hire some. I mean, obviously these actors, we haven't really we
Acting
haven't seen them before,
sucks.
right?
No.
Like they're like kind of no names, right? So it's like we
Yeah.
just throw these
Yeah.
people in there and just see what happens, and then you get a product like this, which pisses off the fan base, and here we are, fucking
I mean,
complaining
is the
about it.
fan base pissed off or are they fucking idiots? I hope they're not idiots. Let me look up reviews.
I
See,
don't
that's the thing
know.
too, though. It's like this is what I've said about like pretty much like anything new that's coming out with, especially with like Disney stuff, right, or like with the Marvel
Oh,
stuff, is that the fan and like Star Wars, right?
Mhm.
They are so used to just the name that they're willing to just go and watch it
Yes.
regardless of the quality, and that is why they're able to keep on making products like this, is
Yeah, because
because they're
they
just
know
because they're so
mindlessly
people.
used to
consuming
shit.
it.
Yeah, because they know
Yeah.
people go like, "Oh, I like this. Oh, okay, it's
Yeah,
gonna be good."
yeah,
No, if you,
but it's
I
not.
mean,
It's not.
Go
you can't
read or
just
listen to any of
assume.
my books or audiobooks and then watch any modern show and you'll get a nice little comparison there to see what actually good writing is like in comparison. And it's gonna make you actually see the fucking difference. I can't see reviews. Where are the fucking reviews?
Well, maybe they aren't even out yet.
No, they have to be. The show's out.
Well, that's true. Wait,
Unless
did
they pull
did
in some
did
funny stuff.
Netflix do the thing where they just put out all of the first season, then they're gonna do the same for the second and then the third?
Man, I fucking hope they cancel this ship. I know they won't. 7.6 out of 10?
Oh, no way.
Fuck
7?
off.
Are they just
It
looking at the
wouldn't be a seven just from the
visuals?
acting alone.
Maybe they're just looking at the visuals and being like, "Oh, Appa looked good." Well,
Where's
yeah,
the fans? We
but
saw what happened with Rings of Power. Why can't we get the same fucking fan movement coming on? Where are the reviews?
I don't know. I
I mean,
mean,
I kind of love it. Fuck off, you retard!
This is like the equivalent of like jangling keys in front of a baby. Like,
it
ooh,
is.
shiny object,
It
oh, look at
is.
this CGI, look at the, the background and all that. Looks great, don't mind the acting, don't mind the atrocious acting and dialogue.
That's what it
There we
is.
go. Gorgeous effects, failure of character. I would have given it a 1 out of 10. That pretty much sums it up there.
Mm.
But
Yeah, that's being too
script and
nice.
acting is robotic, liked it's created for foreign
Yeah.
students learning how to speak English.
Oh my
Exactly. And
god!
they probably
Wow.
did hire these from foreign students. These
Damn, that's
guys,
actually a
these guys are
pretty
not
good
white enough,
description.
okay?
That is
That's a
okay.
pretty good
That's a
description.
yeah,
That okay.
exactly.
Okay, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
that you know
usually
what
type
that
on.
they just they got that was pretty much the words I was looking for. Yeah, like second or second English learners trying to learn English and they put
I
them
know
into this. Oh
Why
my
all the
god.
taglines are negative, but everyone's giving like 4 or 6 stars? Like,
I
I
don't
feel
know
empty after
why.
watching this. Should not
Oh,
be
they're
5
probably
stars. Where's the
paid
Yeah.
humor?
Well, this is
paid
IMDb.
reviews.
Aren't they?
Literally have no
They're owned
emotions.
by like Amazon, I think, or something.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah,
Fuck
but
off.
oh yeah, they're
Why don't you
totally
check
being
out
too
Rotten
nice.
Tomatoes?
Brings a tear to my eye. Oh
Oh,
my god.
yeah. Oh, Rotten
It's
Tomatoes.
hard to
Oh
watch when
yeah.
you care. Why are we getting 5s and 6s? You mean what do you mean
Because
fucking mean you kind of love it, you fucking idiot? Great scenery,
people
weird
are
scripting, directing. Yeah, so it seems like basically I guess the consensus is good visuals, everything else fucking sucks.
that's the whole thing, and that's probably why people are giving it a higher score because they're like, oh, it looks pretty. Who cares if it looks pretty? Is
Yeah.
it good? No, I don't care.
You could put diamonds on shit, but it's still gonna be shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or you can decorate a cake beautifully, but does it taste good?
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
I
Although
mean,
like I said earlier, as someone who hasn't watched any of the series, the animated series, or even the previous movie or whatever, like I said, there was a few parts that got me in the feels, like I
mhm,
said earlier. But other than that, it seemed like the storyline would have been okay if it wasn't just for the atrocious acting and just
yeah,
the monotone dialogue. And
very
that's pretty
poorly
much what I got to say about
executed.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they could have really done better with the actors and just a little more emotion. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like your
Any
whole village
emotion
just
at
got.
all, please.
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
zero.
his village got eviscerated, and then the water tribe. I mean, like, they had their people all killed off, and then the dude lost his dad. But like, where's the emotion? Where's the emotion? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No
It
fucking
was like,
emotion.
oh yeah, my dad is gone. And they didn't even
Yeah,
bring up the
yeah.
mother. They didn't bring up the
Mm.
mother. And Katara's really beat up about the mom, and she would, because she's wearing her mom's necklace. And oh, they didn't even bring up her mother. And her mother saved her. Her mother sacrificed.
Well, no, they don't need to.
Mm.
That comes up at like the end of season 1. That would
Well,
be even
yeah,
more
that's
straight
true,
out
but
of episode 1.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm happy they didn't. But it doesn't. I'm not. No, I'm not. Sorry. I take that back. I'm not happy they didn't. They fucked everything up. There's nothing we
Well,
can
yeah,
argue
I
about.
mean,
Yeah, just to clarify for anyone who missed it, we're not watching any more episodes. Okay, no chance. This
no,
one was more
after
than
that,
enough. It's fucked from the beginning. Okay, there's
it's
no
bad.
chance of
It's
redemption.
bad enough they're messing up Spiderwick Chronicles, which I loved that series when I was a kid. I was like in fifth grade
Clickety
when I was
clack. Everyone's
reading those books,
black.
and I'm like,
God damn.
excuse me, excuse me. This is it. So the Spiderwick Chronicles is about two twin boys and their older sister, and the dad left them, and the mom is moving into this old Victorian house, which was owned by. It's in her side of the family. It's like her great grandfather or something like that. But and they go and live in that house because they have nowhere else to go, and then the boys are like, well, Jared, I think he's the older twin, but he has really bad anger issues, and he's just really like, I don't want to be here, this sucks. And then Simon, the other twin, is more gentle. He always has these little like rat pets. And then Mallory's a fencer, the sister she fences.
She's so hot in the movie.
Well, in the book, the books are really good. The illustrations are great. I mean, even though they're kind of, I mean, they're for young adult. No, they're like middle grade. So in publishing, there's, middle grade, um, young adult, and then adult. And middle grade obviously is kind of corny. It's not like, but still, it's still nostalgic for me because even reading when I was older again, I was like, oh, I love this. It was so good. And it's actually pretty dark in a lot of spots. Like, it's not It's
Oh no,
not
it's a
like
lot dark. This movie's gonna be a lot
yeah,
darker though. This
and
movie's gonna be really dark. The tone of this movie, the complexion, it's gonna be really
oh
dark.
god, oh.
Yeah, this movie's
Course,
gonna be
of
pretty
course, you went
dark.
there.
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean in one of the in like the second book, the goblins attack them and the goblins have like these glass shard teeth. And they're like actually a lot of them are like a lot of the fairies are really like creepy and oh my they're just gonna mess it up. I'm just I don't want to get going on that because that's not what we're talking about, but
Oh,
I
this fucking
know
sucks.
everything just why can't they just leave stuff
Everything sucks
alone?
now, and it's
Yeah,
like,
I said it before. I
damn.
said it again. They really need to stop making live action like animated anything,
I
unless
know.
they're actually going to, collab with the original creator, or they're going to
Mhm.
have actual fans, or they don't have to be fans, but
Or just people
writers that are
who
going to
are
do the research. Yeah, they're going to do
Common
the research
average
and
Joe.
try
Pick
to
average Joe off the
keep it
street, and
keep it
average Joe will
true.
tell you
yeah,
the inconsistencies
that's
between
all we
editing.
want,
Okay.
you know?
It's bizarre. I keep
Yeah.
coming back to the shot. We see him laying in the bed with his shirt on. Everyone leaves.
Okay.
We cut to him laying in bed with the shirt off. Then we cut to him laying in bed with the shirt on again. What is
You
happening
really
between
hung up
cuts?
on the
Poor
on
editing.
the on the nude
Yeah.
scene there.
Oh my
Same thing with the glider. Half the time he has it, half the time he doesn't have it.
but again, like I said earlier, or maybe I said it earlier, but he was supposed to be awake by then, by the time they got to the village. Like, Qatar was the first person he saw when he woke up, and then they take him to the village, so he's already supposed to be awake. He's not supposed to be passed out in a tent and be like, oh, he needs to sleep. No, he was already awake. So it's just,
Yeah, guys. It sucks. Alright, that's our review of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action
it was
episode 1.
a shit show.
If you haven't seen the animation, just go watch it. Do not
Yes,
watch the live
go
action.
watch the original
Absolute
animated
garbage.
series. If you're interested, go
Yeah.
watch it. It's
Go watch
really
it.
good. You will not be disappointed. And Sokka's
Yeah,
hysterical. He's my favorite character.
just so funny.
He's my
Uh,
favorite. Love him.
Hail Becky. But yeah, guys, that's a review. Don't watch the live action. Go watch the animation.
Yeah.
You guys got anything you want to shout out or say before we wrap this up?
You could check out my YouTube channel, YoPops215. Don't really have anything on there, but eventually I'll get around to doing something once I figure out what I'm going to do. You could find me on X or Twitter or Twix or whatever the hell it is. It's YoPops215 on there as well. So yeah.
And I just have
Guys?
a Twitter. I just have a Twitter. It's under my name. You can just search Jess Linst, JessLinDst. And that's
Yeah.
it. Oh.
If you're sick of garbage modern writing, go check out my books and treat yourself to some actual fucking quality. Then
If
watch
my
any
book
modern
was
show.
published, I'd say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Guys,
not.
book 10's coming out next month. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, but guys, Hail the 199. This is gonna be another stream
Hail.
sometime soon talking about like history. It's gonna be awesome. And then we got the podcast this Thursday. Then we have an interview with Frederick Agro this Friday. So
Egg
lots of stuff happening.
roll.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Woo!
lots of Asian representation. All right, folks. Later.
Okay, bye.